Face it, the Cleveland Browns just aren't going to be very good this year. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams in 32 days, and today we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. Things are very interesting with this football team. As I said in the intro, they're probably not going to be very good this year. In fact, not even probably. It's just they will not. They will not be very good this year. But the question is, how bad will they be? Because they could be, pretty bad, but not just awful. And that's the best case scenario. I'll go ahead and tell you that. They could be pretty bad. But we say, hey, they're pretty bad. They're not that bad, but they're pretty bad. So, that's what we're looking at here. We're going to go through the entire roster, their strengths, their weaknesses, go through the schedule, and give you my final win-loss prediction. But Browns fans, before I begin, okay? Because 49er fans didn't like when I trashed their team, okay? Can we just be honest, okay? Because I had 49er fans telling me they're going to go 8-8, and 7-9, and guys, can we just be honest today, okay? We won't be. Go ahead and write your dislike comment and all of this, but just try, okay? So with that said, let's get into the strengths of this football team. For the first time, I'm stooped, but I went with the offensive line because it has the potential to be a strength. So we're talking about Joe Thomas on one side. He's elite. He's great. No question there. No problems there. Okay, good. Joel Bitonio, now at left guard. He had a little bit of a down year last year, but I've seen him be good in the past. I think he'll be good again. Cameron Irving, who was a disaster last year when they played him at guard, when they played him at tackle a little bit. He really wasn't very good at all, but now he's returning back to center, the position he played his last year of college, so he should be better, but how much better? Because honestly, Pro Football Focus, they had him at a 32.2 grade out of 100. That's one of the worst grades I've ever seen. So he really needs to step it up next year because that is awful. Right guard, right now you guys have John Greco. I think he's your second best offensive lineman right now, to be quite honest. And then right tackle, Alvin Bailey, who inspires no confidence out of me. We just thought about how bad that 32.2 out of 100 was. Alvin Bailey, 35.4. Not much better. Needs to improve upon that position. And they have Sean Coleman, who they drafted out of Auburn, but he doesn't sound like he's ready to start right now. So it's pretty much going to be Alvin Bailey, and that doesn't inspire much confidence for me. And unfortunately, with the issues that are on this offensive line, it's still pretty much the best positional group as a whole. Second, I went with the running backs, though. Duke Johnson, I really like. And I like what I've seen from him in terms of the flashes and the spurts. He's still not the number one running back on the depth chart, though, and I don't love that. I think by season's end he will be, but right now he's not. But I like in terms of his receiving ability, I really like that potential there. I think he could actually be a long-term starter for this Browns team, but he needs to start before he can be a long-term starter. And right now he's still behind Isaiah Crowell, who's a clown. The guy just posts crap on Instagram, doesn't think about what he's doing. The guy, when you look up average running back in the NFL dictionary, you see Isaiah Crowell. You see his picture, you see his Instagram posts. That's what you see. He's average, blah, mediocre. In fact, average may even be an overstatement because I think he's even below average. Nothing inspires me from Isaiah Crowell, so I think Duke Johnson is your only hope at the running back position. And I even hear that there's an undrafted free agent that is challenging for a spot as well, so we'll see how that works out. From there are certain positions that are okay. I think the safeties are okay. I think you have Ibrahim Campbell at strong safety, who came out of Northwestern last year and actually played pretty well his rookie year, so he should improve. But then at your free safety position, Jordan Poyer, I think maybe it's even Poyer, but he didn't play well last year. And you have Raheem Moore behind him, who I actually like. The guy played horrible for the Texans, don't get me wrong, but at least we've seen him play well in the past when he was on the Broncos. So hopefully he can come in and actually end up competing and maybe even starting down the road. Jordan Poyer doesn't really inspire much confidence from me, but the safeties I think are okay. Wide receivers, it's just a big let's see. All right, it's just a big let's see. I won't say it's either strength or weakness. It could really be a strength. It could really be a weakness. Josh Gordon will come back after week 4. Okay, great. And I think he is their only chance at winning more than 4 games this season. If Josh Gordon is great and Robert Griffin can just throw the ball up to him consistently, hey, we're on to something here. Look out for that. I think you're talking about Corey Coleman on the other side, and a guy that I don't really love, to be quite honest with you, didn't learn the route tree at Baylor. A guy that really needs to learn the techniques of the game and the nuances. Really just a street baller at Baylor, needs to really learn the game. I think it's going to be a transition for him. Behind him, Andrew Hawkins. Guy can't stay healthy. I'm not expecting him to stay healthy ever again in my life, and neither should you in yours. You have Rashard Higgins, who you drafted in the 5th round, Ricardo Lewis, Jordan Payton, and a whole slew of more undrafted and drafted rookie wide receivers. Who knows how they will do? So this is a big let's see position, neither a strength nor a weakness to me. From there, the cornerbacks, okay, but pretty bad. Okay, Joe Hayden played awful last year. 32.3 Pro Football Focus rating. I mean, that's horrible. Tramon Williams, I think is actually decent, but now they're talking about they may release him. I don't know why, because I think he's their second best corner right now. Kwan Williams, I think he's actually decent. So I think Kwan Williams is your only hope here, and then the hope is Joe Hayden can go back to what he used to be, and he should. But we'll see, because, guys, he was awful. I mean, and he was being targeted. Because, I mean, so many teams were like, hey, guys, Joe Hayden's awful. We got to target him. We got to target that side of the field. And he just kept getting trashed, and he's dealing with injuries and all of this, and he needs to get better, so much better. Justin Gilbert, apparently he's looked good in OTAs, but I need to see it in a game before I say anything. I think he's, the Browns version of Morris Claiborne, a guy that looks good in OTAs and training camp, but doesn't play well when the game lights come on. Needs to be better. Weaknesses, oh yeah. Okay, let's talk about the defensive line, and even just the front 5. So, let's start with the defensive line, nose tackle. Danny Shelton, I'm so disappointed in Danny Shelton. I expected much more from him out of Washington. This is a guy that comes from a Polynesian background, guys that know how to work hard and stick to their diet and be good football players. Guy got fat last year, 30 pounds gain, 365 pounds. I'm not sure there was another player in the NFL that weighed more than Danny Shelton last season. It was bad. And I saw no pop, no creativity, no innovation from him in terms of pass rushing, nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. I've seen rocks rush the passer better than Danny Shelton did last year. He needs to step up that part of his game if he expects to be a 3-down defensive lineman. Horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. You're talking about starting Xavier Cooper at one of your defensive end positions after Desmond Bryant tore his pec out for the season. Xavier Cooper is fine, but he was a 5th-round rookie last year. Didn't play great. Not much to project. Much improvement there. Josh Meter on one side. Don't love that. Linebackers, Paul Kruger, an abysmal, horrible, horrific, horrendous 2.5 sacks last season. I mean, that is nothing. You're talking about on the other side, Nate Orchard, who actually was decent at the end of last year, had 3 sacks in the last 3 games. Okay, let's see if you can improve and do something, because, man, they're not going to have a 10-plus sack guy this upcoming season. Emmanuel Ogba, who they drafted, the guy, I like him, but now they're talking about moving him to 3-4 defensive end. I think it's going to take a while for him to really learn that position. I think he has the arm length for it. Does not have the size for it right now at 273 pounds. He's going to have to put on at least 15 more pounds, probably even 20. So it's going to take a while for that to happen. And until that happens, don't love the front 5 at all. Even the front 7. Let's just throw the whole front 7. Inside linebackers, Christian Kirksey and Demario Davis. No confidence in those two whatsoever to be anything beyond mediocre, just mediocre, blah, blah, inside linebackers, and those two, nothing inspiring me at all on this defense. Back to the offense, tight end, Gary Barnidge, okay. The guy played well last year, challenged for a Pro Bowl, maybe even made it. I'm not really sure. I think he didn't, though. And we'll see. He should be good, but then literally nothing beyond him. You're talking about some Cooper, some Cooper undrafted free agent, Cooper H. Hernfelt or Herfelt or something like that, starting beyond him. You don't know anything about him, and neither do I. We'll see. But the tight end position, who knows right now outside of Gary Barnidge? And let's get to the big old apple pie, pumpkin pie, and that's the quarterback position. And this is something that I can't believe the Cleveland Browns are doing. I don't know why they're so intent on starting Robert Griffin III at the quarterback position. I think this is nonsense. Apparently, Josh McCown is outperforming him in training camp. He outperformed him at OTAs. He outperformed him at mini camp. He's been outperforming him throughout this entire offseason process. But Hugh Jackson is so consumed with the idea of fixing RG3. That's his only focus, and it's hurting this football team tremendously. Josh McCown is a better football player than Robert Griffin. He's proving it on the practice field. He's proving it on the NFL field. Because what you get from Josh McCown, he doesn't turn the ball over much. There's not much upside, but he doesn't turn the ball over much. And when you're talking about starting Josh McCown, throwing the ball up to Josh Gordon, throwing the ball up to Corey Coleman, I like that. Because what was he able to do for the Bears a couple years back? He threw the ball up to Brandon Marshall, and he threw the ball up to Alshon Jeffrey, and that worked. It worked for a little bit. So if you want to win games, start Josh McCown. If you don't start RG3. You won't fix him. He's unfixable. You won't coach him up. He won't do it. He's going to piss you off. He's going to piss off Hugh Jackson when he starts running for these stupid plays. Cody Kessler is going to get on the field, and he's not a good fit with Josh Gordon in terms of what Josh Gordon loves to do and likes to do. So the quarterback position is the biggest weakness in the NFL. It's bad. It's so bad. Good luck. It's horrible right now for the Cleveland Browns. So with that said, let's get into the schedule, and then let's get the hell out of here. Okay, so I think you guys could actually start 2-0. And this is actually so shocking. But when you do, I'm not going to go crazy because I know it literally goes downhill from here. I don't see another win on the schedule after the first two games. So I actually have the Browns possibly starting 2-0. You guys go to Philadelphia. You guys host Baltimore. I think you're going to beat Baltimore this year. But unless if the Steelers and Bengals have injuries, I don't see you guys beating either one of those. You guys go up against the NFC East. You host the Cowboys, you host the Giants, you go to the Redskins, and you go to, who's the other team? Oh, the Eagles. I think you guys could beat the Eagles. I mean, if the Cowboys are stupid and Tony Romo's injured, you guys could upset them, but I'm not predicting it. I can't predict it. I'm sorry. That's a 1-3 in that division at best, probably 0-4, but at best 1-3. You guys go up against the AFC East. It should be. Yeah, AFC East. I mean, I don't see a win. I mean, the two teams you could beat, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, you go there. So I don't see you guys upsetting them there. So you're not going to beat the Patriots, and you're not going to beat the New York Jets. So just forget about that. And then the other two teams you face are the Tennessee Titans, but you have to go there. And then you guys all try to go up against the AFC West representative, and that'd be the San Diego Chargers, and I don't see you guys winning that. I think it's a 2-14 season. And honestly, I have you guys possibly starting 2-0, but I mean, it could be 0-2, and then from there, I don't know where the wins are going to come from. I mean, you guys are in serious trouble, and you have to be honest, right? I mean, like, there are some things that could work, okay? Like I said, RG3 throwing it up to Josh Gordon, okay, that could work. In terms of Emmanuel Ogbah, he needs to be great at his new position, and I just don't see that happening in the get-go. Danny Shelton fixing his issues. Corey Coleman needs to be really good. It's 2-14. Best case scenario, maybe 5-11. Maybe this RG3 can be fixed. Maybe Josh Gordon returns to his great form. And I actually think he's going to be very good. But, even then, we haven't seen him play for 2 years. For 2 years, we haven't seen him play. And then on the left side, Corey Coleman, maybe he's decent as well. And this passing game could be a little dangerous. And Duke Johnson's pretty good. And they win 5 games. And they're pretty bad, but they're not that bad. The worst case scenario, I mean, honestly, it could be 0-16. And it could honestly be. I don't think it will be. I really don't. I have them winning 2 games. That's what I have, but I need to account for it because I think it could be. So, worst case scenario, 0-16 for the Cleveland Browns, but I have them going 2-14. And they probably, honestly, I mean, like I said, I can see them winning some games because some of these teams are getting injured, but I just can't predict it, right? I can't sit here today and say you're going to beat the Giants or you're going to beat the Cowboys or you're going to beat the Chargers. I can't sit here and do it, and I don't know how you can either. Maybe when that week comes and I can look at the matchup, I can predict something different, but as of right now, I can't predict it. And if you're a rational fan, neither can you. So there you go. There's my 2016 Cleveland Browns season preview. What do you think about the upcoming Browns season? Make sure to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and most importantly to subscribe because every single damn day, new video up here, 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, because that's just how I do. And oh, by the way, during the NFL season, I upload predictions and picks, and I also upload game recaps. So you want to stick around because this is the channel to be. This channel is booming, and it's all thanks to you guys, and I appreciate that very much. Until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.